boys and girls. Now we talked about our morning message, or in our morning message, we talked about the moon. Now I want to know, do you remember what the moon does? From our morning message, it moves something. What does it move? Yep, the waves that you see in the water. Very good. What else do you know about the moon? Yes, you're right. It comes out in the nighttime when it's dark outside. Very good. Now we're going to be reading a story today, and it's actually called The Sun and the Moon. But before I read it, we have some things to talk about. Now we already talked about that the moon comes out in the nighttime when it's dark outside. What else might you see in the dark when it's dark outside? Right, stars. Good job. You might see some stars, and you might see the moon, right? Now let's talk about the daytime. What does it look like in the daytime? Yep, it's really bright outside, like when the sun is out. What else might you see in the daytime? Yep, clouds, rain, sun, all kinds of things. So let me put our characters of the story. I just gave you a little hint, okay? And before we keep going, this is Earth. This is where we live. We live right here, right there. And look, this is all the water that is moved by the moon. And gravity holds us to the ground right here. Now, we are going to talk about the moon today. Now, this is called a crescent moon. That means, let me show you. This is a crescent moon. It looks like this, okay? It kind of looks like a C. This is only part of the moon. There are a lot of different ways the moon can look. It can also look like a circle in the sky. That's called a full moon. That's when you can see the whole circle of the moon. But this one, it's just a crescent. So you only see just a little bit of the moon. Okay? All right, let's go ahead and read our story. Our story is called The Sun and the Moon. Now, while I'm reading the story, I want you to be thinking about what the moon and stars preferred in the night sky. Preferred means, what did they want? So whenever I read this story, be thinking about what the moon and the stars preferred or wanted to have in the sky. Got it? All right. This is called The Sun and the Moon. A long time ago, there was no moon in the sky, and there was no sun either. The sky was only full of stars. The moon and the sun were friends. They love each other. They play together on Earth. So they're on Earth. Are the sun and the moon really on Earth? No, they're really in the sky. But in this story, only the stars are in the sky, and the moon and the sun are playing on Earth. One day, they were playing hide and seek, and the moon decided to hide in the sky behind a cloud. So the moon is hiding. The sun looked and looked for the moon, but could not find her. He grew angry and quit looking. In the meantime, all the stars in the sky were in awe of the moon. The moon is so beautiful. They said she was the most beautiful light they had ever seen. The moon decided she liked living in the sky, so she decided to make the sky her home. So now she's in the sky with the stars. She came out from behind the clouds and shone brightly on Earth. The people on Earth loved the silvery light of the moon. The sun looked up to see what was lighting up the sky, and there he saw his friend. He realized that the moon had tricked him. She had hidden herself over his head. That means she hid herself in the sky while the sun was still on Earth. He couldn't see her. The sun jumped into the sky. And when he did, he frightened the moon and the stars. They ran to the other side of the Earth. So look, they were here, okay? They were in the sky, and the sun came up and scared them. So they went all the way around to the other side of the Earth. The sun was all alone. He called for the moon and stars to return, but they refused. The light of the sun was so bright that their light couldn't even be seen. The sun looked down on earth and saw how happy the people were to have his warm light. The children were running and playing. People were lifting their faces to enjoy the warmth of his light. Plants and flowers were growing. The sun decided to stay in the sky and light the earth. The stars never went near the sun. They preferred or wanted the darker sky, where their lights could be enjoyed by the people on earth. The moon also preferred or wanted the night sky, where her light shone the brightest of all. So the sun stayed on one side of the earth, while the moon stayed on the other. The sun missed the moon, and he continues to this day to chase her, but he never catches her. She's still playing hide and seek. So the sun is still chasing, but that's why there's daytime and nighttime. All right, now let me pick this up now that I lost it. Okay, so let's go back to this moon and the stars. I want you to think about, what did they prefer? Why did they prefer the night sky? I'm going to read that sentence one more time. That's in Spanish. The stars never went near the sun. They preferred the darker sky where their lights could be enjoyed by the people on earth. The moon also preferred the night sky where her light shone the brightest of all. So the sun stayed on one side of the earth while the moon stayed on the other. Now, think about it. Why did the moon and the stars prefer the night sky? Let me know your thoughts below.